What's up, agents? We are in a position where a unique value proposition is talked about often, and I want to talk about developing a brand on social media versus just getting clients and collecting clients on social media. This is of utmost importance, and granted, I think that if you develop a strong brand using your social media, the clients and the referrals will follow. So stay tuned. We're going to talk about this as kind of a concept, and we're going to dive deep. What's up, guys? Jeremy Kane, Real Estate Agent Playbook, helping you win every single day at the game of real estate. While you're here, throw me a like, comment, and if you feel so inclined, subscribe. I put videos out like this that are more common sense based and dive deep into certain strategies that I use to absolutely crush the real estate game, because that's what I want for you. We're also on the podcast, so share this with your favorite real estate agent, and let's get rolling. So first and foremost, we must talk about this brand. And when we talk about brand, we talk about the logos, we talk about all the, catchphrases and things like that. A brand needs to start with your story that goes down to your personality and who you are. And if you can begin to tell your story, whether it's an origin story or why you're doing what you're doing, and connect with the clients on that level, your brand will take an entirely different route. Granted, we still need the logos and the fancy colors and all the things that kind of go along with it. But your personal brand is something that we can absolutely revolutionize our businesses with, because at the end of the day, no matter what brokerage you hang your license under, people choose every single day to work with their agent based on personality, based on referrals, based on that piece. And so if you can carry that brand forward and begin telling your story through your brand, people will identify with it much sooner, and this will help explode your real estate business. So that's the first thing I want to really dive into, is just making sure that we understand that a brand is so much more than a, color combination and scheme and a logo. So once we have those things, then we can really dive into the visualization and the recognition that comes into being a brand. You start to have similar color schemes. Your flyers all look the same. You have, gear and all the things. You have the park benches and the billboards and all that stuff. But when we really step back, social media is an absolutely free resource to help people really understand and tell the story. It's really hard to tell a story on a billboard going 60 miles an hour by that. So social media is a way for people to connect with you. And so in a way, you're always on brand. When you're hanging out with your friends, when you're hanging out with your family, everything about you that you can post on your social media as basically a personal blog or a personal rendition, a personal billboard of social media that's digital, that's constantly recurring, allows you and is a tool that can't be overlooked when building the brand. So we must first identify the stories and identify how we want to be recognized, and then we need to take that to social media and ultimately live by that brand. And as we move forward, your brand needs to be more about you versus luxury brand that you aspire to be. If you're not luxury and you don't fit the part, don't worry about it. Build a brand based on who you are, because regardless of what your fancy logo looks like or what your brand or what story you're trying to tell on social media, the true story will come out while you're putting out content and you're connecting with your avatars via social media. But what a better place to do that. What an opportunity to build a brand, have, your resources and have everything all in one place for people to really get to know you, right? We talk all the time on this channel about modern, agents and talking about video and all of those things. That's all part of the brand that you're passing forward. And everything that you do on your socials should lead back to your brand and who you are and what it would be like to work with you. And it doesn't always have to mention that. People will pull that from, real estate content being intertwined within there and all of the things. And we're such an impressionable world, right? Everything's based on impressions, and we can now track on our, personal Facebook pages, impressions and clicks and all of those things. So make sure that you start with your brand and you're consistent along the way, because we've all seen it where somebody's in a suit when they're selling houses and they're never in a suit any other time. We want to have that consistent brand continue to flow across all channels, and this is a massive opportunity to use social media with a plan and a strategy, but it needs to start with a foundation of you understanding your story, understanding your brand, brand and understanding who you would like to connect with and how you would like to connect with those people and how you would be recognized with that target avatar. So we get a ton of questions about, okay, well, great, Jeremy, let's talk about the brand. What do I post on social media, right? What do I post on social media is absolutely not what we're looking for, because that's almost like it's an advertisement, right? You can do paid ads, you can do all of that. That's when we can talk about ad copy and all the things. What you need to post on social media is your story and your personality. So show some things. And if you're camera shy, it doesn't always have to be facing you, right? What are you doing? Went to the park today. Went to this restaurant today. Just getting involved in the community and showing that, eventually you'll be able to turn that camera around and do that. So just share your story. Talk about your story. You talk about how you got there, what you enjoy doing about your business, when you have successes, when you have failures, all the things. You want to make sure that that's part of your story. When you have something unique that you're doing in the real estate world, going to the Parade of Homes tour, all of these things can be shared through your stories on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all the things, but also a personal story. A post can be part of your personal story. You can talk about why you're in the industry, who you are. You can talk about a lot of different things with the camera, not always, focus 100% on your face. Now, your face will help convert that and will help push along the process because people are comfortable, right? I've never met people and they feel like they've known me for years because they've watched my videos a few times. And so that's huge too. But don't let that be a barrier. Don't let being on camera, talking straight to the camera, going from there be the only thing, right? You can have went to lunch with this person, whatever. I'm going to this farmer's market. I, went to this ladies' night. I went to this, whatever it is. And you can absolutely grow your story and your brand through what you're posting on social media without being super personal, right? And exactly where you're being and all of those things. And also, one thing that I like to tell people is grab content while you're in the moment. We also want to live in the moment, but you can post it the next day. No one's going to know. No one's going to be like, you weren't at Margaritaville at 6 p.m. I was there and you weren't there. And that's when you post it. No one's going to care. No one's going to do that, but you're just helping build that brand and build your story. Next, we want to showcase our client experiences. We want to talk about hurdles and problems and things that you helped people solve while you're in the conversation. This is absolutely key to what is going on and absolutely what needs to happen. And so it doesn't have to be your client if they're not comfortable, but talking about the situation, you can tell the story, omit names and whatever, but you can talk about these hurdles. And even if it's the slightest hurdle, right? Like your client says to you, oh man, I was so scared and so nervous, about going to start to look at houses, but you made it so clear because you did XYZ. We'll share that in a way, whether it's a post, whether they write a testimonial, or you just talk about it in a story. Be like, this is what I do to help people, and go from there. So that's absolutely huge, is to document your client's experience and what it's like. Put the viewer or the follower in the shoes of what it's like to work with you. Next, we have so much valuable content that we could put out based on education, our changing markets, our changing world. The beauty is the market is never the same day to day. So you always have something to talk about if you're engaged and you understand what's going on. Your business partners can help with that and all of the things. So provide valuable educational content. And if you're focusing on a moving target like the market, you're always going to have new things to talk about. And so that is of utmost importance. Don't just put out dumb TikTok dancing videos. Some that works for some, never worked for me. But if you can put out that content, you're starting to build your brand, you're starting to build your story. I do not go to an appointment, a listing appointment or buyer's appointment without someone mentioning, hey, I was watching your video. Hey, Johnny sent me your video on the market. Wow, that, it seems like you really know what's going on. People always mention my social media and my video and my posts when I'm meeting with them. So just putting it out there, being omnipresent with your opportunities to create content is absolutely the key. And then finally, engage with your audience, how you engage, right? We're not just putting content out to get clicks and likes and impressions. We want to build those relationships. We want to get into the DMs. We want people to feel inspired and comfortable talking to us. And that starts with how we respond to people publicly when they, engage with our posts. So make sure that you are engaging with all of that. I think with the big social media push, everyone's like, oh, I don't know what to post. I don't know what to do. And we don't think of the opportunity to engage with our avatar. avatars based on their content and based on how they react to yours. So make sure that you are engaging and that becomes part of your brand. Jeremy's always responding. Jeremy's always there. It's not a robot posting all of his stuff. He's actually, adding to the value of his content with his engagement and his responses to whatever we're doing. And then at the end of the day, you have to be consistent. This is probably the most important part of your brand. If it's up and down and luxury this and super lax the next day and, talking about apartments this day and commercial real estate this day and, first time home buyers this day, if you're not consistent, the audience gets confused. And if your target avatar is not dialed in, you're actually talking to a million different people and people don't engage as well, right? We want to be consistent. We want to show up because that's how the brand, that's how that logo, that's how that gets consistent and becomes more and more widely recognized. So as we grow, we can absolutely look to other things like AI to help create content, right? A lot of my content starts with my ideas. I put down my main talking points and I'm like, help me, drive some of these points home. And I use ChatGPT to really dial that in. So have a content strategy to build content and go from there. And then be able to produce content, right? Batch content so that, when you're in the zone and your lighting's right and all your cameras right and your mics are right, be in the zone so that you can knock out a few things of content at once and then have a posting schedule. But as a posting schedule, you need to be available. So if people are commenting and doing that, you have the ability to respond. And it's a lot, right? I had a video hit 23,000 views on Facebook and I responded to every single comment. Well, what that did was continue to push that post out now and has over 500 comments because I commented on almost every single one of everybody else's comments besides the mean ones. And you can't let the haters hate, but you continue to engage with those people and talk to them and be a resource and build that brand so that you are not the annoying little person that, always gets his feelings hurt when someone says something negative. Have a conversation, use that opportunity to engage. And as you go, your scheduling tool helps, but you must be available to respond to those comments for sure. And then we measure what gets managed. We continue to look at that. Remember, we're consistent across the brand. People become more recognizable because we're consistent. And then we're seeing what people are doing. What do people like? Create more stuff that the people like. Oh, this video flopped. What was it about? Well, maybe let's not talk about that anymore. Or maybe I need to deliver that message a little better. So definitely be a critic of yourself. Look at what's working and go from there. And if we can do that and we can build this brand and be consistent, that goes so much further than, constantly showing my under contracts and solds and all of the things. I'm providing an educational platform all in one place, a personal brand billboard that exactly what it's like to work with me. You can see what the reviews are. You can see what other people are engaging like. You can see some success of homes I'm selling or listing or whatever. And you can make that decision to hit that DM button and reach out to me. And so that's exactly what I want to do. But if I'm not consistent, the algorithm will bury me. I'll only be seen by my mom and my wife and all those people. And that's not what we want. We have to build the consistent brand so that we can be omnipresent, so we can grow our real estate business. And if you have these impressions and you have all of these things, think about that next listing appointment you go to when it's weird and people don't want to pay buyer's agents and all the things. You say, hey, this is my system. This is how it works. This is how many impressions I'm getting on, this listing video. And this is what I'm doing. And this is my social media brand. You're not embarrassed to send them to your Facebook page because you haven't posted in 3 years and you're ready to go. And so that becomes a value because people see that you are doing things a little bit differently. You can still do the consistent stuff. You can still do the old school stuff. But if I can say, hey, look at my Facebook page. This is how many views I get on my personal page, my business page. And look at this last real estate post. I posted just listed and I got 9,000 impressions just on that just listed, driving people to my website, sending people the listing details, and that absolutely push that forward to more people than just the MLS. So you can turn this around once you have consistency and proof of concept that will really help people take off.